Bitcoin is making headlines again. Its popularity is rising because the price of a Bitcoin, it keeps going up and up and up. People are getting rich and it's really becoming a speculation frenzy. I get asked all the time, what do I think about Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? And my answer is always the same. As a passive income focused investor who only invests in stocks that provide a dividend or income, I personally am not invested in Bitcoin because it goes against my core strategy. But it doesn't mean that it might not be a great investment long term or for the future. Who am I to say? So how can you invest in Bitcoin without actually buying Bitcoin directly? Is there a way? Also, is there a way to invest in the actual technology or the blockchain technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? So the answer is yes to both those questions, and I'm going to show you how right now. So just a quick disclaimer, guys, I have to warn you that unlike all my other content and the other stocks that I show you in this channel, I did not or am not invested in the two funds that I will show you in this video. But like I said, it shouldn't prevent you from doing so if you feel that it's a great idea. So maybe I'm making a mistake by not investing in Bitcoin now, who knows? I am not also ruling out the idea in the future. I learned long ago that keeping an open mind when it comes to investing is very, very important, just like everything else in life. So I would suggest that if you're thinking about investing in Bitcoin, at least have a core dividend portfolio in case something goes wrong. Don't forget that Bitcoin is completely unregulated and it's a currency, not a business that you're investing in. So anything can happen. So I do really like the concept and technology behind the idea or behind cryptocurrency. Paper money might eventually disappear, and more people are using digital currency. So I do see the appeal of actually investing in the technology a little bit more than Bitcoin itself or the blockchain technology. So let's start with Bitcoin. To actually buy Bitcoin, it seems a bit more complicated than just buying a stock from your broker account. I could be wrong here because I never bought Bitcoin personally, so I'm just going by what I'm reading online. But I did find a way to directly invest in Bitcoin as if you were buying Bitcoin itself. You do this by investing in a closed-end fund listed on the Canadian stock market. So it's as simple as just investing in another stock. So let's check out this fund in detail together. So here it is, guys, the Bitcoin fund by an asset manager called 3iQ, a relatively new asset manager, I believe. You can see the stock symbols here. So they actually have a Canadian currency version, which is just QBTC, traded on the TSX. They also have a USD currency version, QBDC.U, also traded on the TSX. So if you're Canadian, you're obviously going to stick with the Canadian version, simply QBTC. So if you scroll down and click on here, December fund profile, you can see what this fund is all about. So the Bitcoin fund is a closed-end fund incorporated in Canada. The fund seeks exposure to the digital currency Bitcoin and the opportunity for long-term capital appreciation. So this fund, the stock price of this fund, actually just follows the price of Bitcoin. Very simple to understand. The management fee is a little high at 1.95% though. And if we look at the stock price, so QBDC actually started trading back in October 19th of 2020. So it's pretty much a baby in terms of a stock here. And as you could see, the last couple of weeks, the price is spiking, which correlates with the Bitcoin price, which is spiking. So very, very interesting fund here if you want to invest in Bitcoin. Okay, so that's covering Bitcoin. What if you're more interested in the actual technology behind Bitcoin, so the blockchain technology, and don't really want to invest in the actual cryptocurrency directly? Well, there is a brand new ETF from one of my favorite ETF providers, Harvest Portfolios, that came up with a brand new ETF called the Blockchain Technologies ETF. So the stock symbol is HBLK. Let's check it out together. So here it is. I'm on the homepage of Harvest Portfolios. If you click on products, and here it is. It's under the Specialty Index ETF. It's called the Blockchain Technologies ETF. As you can see, the stock symbol is HBLK. It's been around since 2018, early 2018. So it's been around for a while. If you scroll down, you could actually see the stock price has increased dramatically in the last couple of months, simply with the rise of cryptocurrency. So if you would have invested $10,000 when the fund was created back in February of 2018, you would have had $15,000. So a nice 50% increase. Really, really good. So obviously this has growth potential. And The management fee is 0.65%. And if you click on this document here, it'll basically tell you what this fund is all about. The key here is that HBLK tracks the Harvest Blockchain Technologies Index. So Harvest actually created their own index, which invests in a cross-section of large cap established companies and dedicated businesses that are primarily involved in blockchain technology services. So if you scroll down, you can see some of the companies. A lot of them I do not recognize, which are, dedicated blockchain technology companies. But there are also a lot of technology companies who use blockchain and are increasing their usage of it, like Microsoft, MasterCard, Visa, of course, and other technology giants like Intel, Oracle, IBM, SAP, etc., etc. So a really cool way to invest in the actual technology behind cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology. So as you saw, there are a lot of familiar companies in this fund. These companies are involved one way or another in the actual blockchain technology or using the technology. So even though the ETF does not provide a dividend, I do think that this might be a good investment opportunity for long-term growth. And I am personally more attracted to this ETF rather than just investing in Bitcoin directly, which is just one of many cryptocurrencies, although it's the most popular. So the CEO of Harvest, Michael Kovacs, recently did an interview on BNN Bloomberg where he discusses the brand new ETF in detail and the concept behind it. So I found it to be very informative. So I chose the best parts for you. So let's check it out together.
Remind us, what index does this track?
We developed our own index. So it's the Harvest Blockchain Technologies Index. And what we've done is we've put together an index of large cap players, which is your IBMs and Visas of the world, and then your smaller cap names like Glance Technologies, Hive, and so on. So you've really got a cross section of large cap and small cap names in the area.
Yeah, so there's the top holdings. So somebody might assume, oh, we're going to be looking at wild and wacky blockchain IPOs, right, trading over the counter. But no, you've got some pretty stable names, familiar names in your top 10.
Correct. But, Andy, it's very important when anybody's looking at investing in blockchain, they should really understand what blockchain is. And a lot of people in my conversations don't.
Just remind us then, if you would.
Yeah, they associate blockchain with cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, like Bitcoin. And, Bitcoin is one slice of the pie. Blockchain is the overriding technology and the new sort of exchange of value that's occurring on the internet. So anything from bank contracts, healthcare records, cryptocurrencies, even musicians that are creating music that want to sell it directly can now start using the blockchain. So we're in early days, but it's got fantastic potential to really change the way business works with each other and peers work with each other.
Now, you have these huge companies like Visa, MasterCard, Microsoft. Of course, only a tiny part of their business right now is blockchain. So right, how direct to play does this thing offer?
Well, another good point. You see, it's not moving the needle on the earnings side. But if you think about a Visa corporation, they're right now in the development of something called B2B Connect. And they are setting up a network on the blockchain architecture where they're setting up organizations, financial organizations all over the world, so that if you want to transact, send money to a relative in another country, you can do it instantaneously at a very low cost using this structure. So it will affect the needle. It will move the needle in time, but right now it's not. And even a lot of these smaller companies, they are consumers of capital. They're not actually earning any capital. So this whole area is very new, which goes back to my original point. Really understand what you're buying. It's going to be a wild ride in some of these names, but stick with it, take a small position, and stick it up for the long term.
Michael, thanks very much.
So there you have it, guys. QBTC, the Bitcoin fund, is a great way to invest in Bitcoin without actually buying Bitcoin directly. The fund is listed on the TSX, on the Canadian stock market, and you could easily buy and sell it like you would any other stock. So again, I have to preach caution here, guys. Don't forget that what could be happening now, it could be another bubble, another speculation frenzy, but maybe it's not. Either way, tread very carefully. The HBLK ETF from Harvest is a great way to invest in the technology itself, the blockchain technology. I think this is definitely a safer play than investing in Bitcoin directly. Too bad the ETF doesn't provide a dividend, but it's not really surprising because this is really a growth ETF and not an income-focused ETF. Either way, it could be a great long-term investment. So please hit that like button, guys. It's free for you and it helps the channel out, so it's a win-win. And as usual, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and see you next time.